Hi everybody, welcome to a new episode of Essentials, the series where we try to understand the unrest in the West. My name is Carver Benson.
Hi, I'm Carly Jensen, and together with Carver, I will discuss a hot topic of the current political debate at our fireplace.
Carly, today I want to discuss something that worries me. It is about Trump's policies and the impact of these policies.
Okay, just throw it out on the table and see where I can be of any help.
It is about the following. Donald Trump wants to make America great again, and he is doing that with higher import tariffs. He also wants to bring down the number of illegal immigrants in the U.S. At the same time, he will lower the taxes for the rich and the corporations. And finally, fire millions of civil servants to make the federal government more efficient.
Yep, that is all true. It sounds good, doesn't it? Protecting industries from unfair foreign competition, lower taxes, less bureaucracy, and less illegal immigrants to protect jobs and borders. I could consider giving him my vote.
Well, maybe. But there is one thing I do not understand about making America great again. The U.S. economy is doing exceptionally well. The USA is already by far the strongest and healthiest nation in terms of economic growth. Why should we make America great again when it is doing better than ever?
That sounds quite harsh. Carver, do you have data to evidence that strong position of the U.S. economy?
Yes, it is very clear. Let's look at real incomes per head of the population. Germans earn 84% of their U.S. peers in 2023. The U.K. was at 73% of U.S. levels. Overall, incomes in countries such as France, Australia, Canada, and Italy are seriously lower than in the U.S.
I must say, that sounds quite convincing.
Yes, but it goes further. In 2000, these countries were closer to the U.S. levels than they are now. In other words, these countries have fallen behind compared to the U.S. German income was 92% of U.S. levels in 2000, and the U.K. was at 82% in 2000. They all could not keep up with American economic growth. So, the conclusion is, economic growth in the U.S. has done exceptionally well in the last 25 years.
Okay, but is there more?
Yes, U.S. corporations are doing much better than their European counterparts. Just some data on this. Young American companies worth at least $10 billion is collectively worth almost $30 trillion. This is 70 times more than its EU equivalent. Amazing, isn't it? And it also indicates that the U.S. economy is much more innovative and dynamic than the European economies. New companies grow very quickly in the U.S.
But this all means that the U.S. is an economic powerhouse. I knew it was doing well, but I was not aware of this.
Indeed. And that's where my worries come from. Why does Trump focus on getting the U.S. economy better while it is doing so well? Why does he want to fix the U.S. economy while there is not much to worry?
You are right. Why would Trump potentially kill the U.S. golden economic goose? Why is he so much focused on trade balances and lower taxes?
Exactly. We know from the book, Why Nations Fail, that economic growth is the result of the rule of law, political stability, non-polarization, scientific excellence, and freedom expression. These are conditions that lead to creativity, insights, risk-taking, and growth.
But these are all things which Trump wants to fight. He does believe more in nepotism than in the rule of law, and he believes more in conspiracy theories than in science. He is hostile to the critical media. He also loves stirring up things and creating uncertainty.
Spot on. But let's dig a little bit deeper into the U.S. economy. Is everything doing so well? Let's look at the income distribution in the U.S. Does everybody get its fair share of the pie?
I think I know where this is going.
Yap. The top 1% share in the U.S. own about 35% of total wealth, while in most other Western countries, this percentage is more in the 20 to 25% range. And if you look at the bottom, the picture is the same. In the U.S., the bottom 50% own 1% of total wealth. In other countries, this is more around 5%.
So is the conclusion that the economic growth in the U.S. goes only to the rich people and the poor people get nothing?
You are so right. But mind you, this has some other alarming consequences as well. Take, for instance, life expectancy in years. In the US, the current life expectancy is 79 years, while in most other Western countries, people get almost 5 years older on average. And there is more. The maternal mortality rates are far higher in the US than in other comparable countries. In the US, 7 times more women die during giving birth than in other Western countries, such as Japan and Sweden. This is not good.
So the US has high economic growth but relatively low welfare?
Yap. But Trump is not going to work on these kind of topics. He is not interested in sharing the pie more evenly. His MAGA supporters will be disappointed. He wants to focus and fix an economy that is already running smoothly. Compare it with a car. When a car runs very smooth, don't touch it. If you do start repairing it, the chances are big that you will mess up.
And that is exactly what is going to happen in the US. We discussed previously the consequences of Trump's trade tariffs. It didn't look too good. And what do you think will happen with many companies that use cheap labor from illegal immigrants? Many little shops and restaurants will have to close because the deportation of these immigrants will damage them severely.
So instead of making America great again, the US will probably lose its current strong position. Too much unrest, instability, and chaos will jeopardize the golden goose. What a pity.
Indeed, I think I have had enough for today. Not very comforting when you are American.
Yap, but this is what they voted for. Well, it might provide opportunities for China and the EU.
Okay, enough for today before my head starts spinning. Thanks for joining this episode of Essentials. I hope you got some new insights. Bye.
Bye, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hope to see you next time.